Hi there, I'm Kate Robertson. I'm one of the instructors for the Veterinary Hospital Assistant Program at the Center for Arts and Technology, and I'm coming to you from our VHA lab. Just talking to you today about my career as a veterinary assistant, why I chose this career. I grew up on a farm. We had horses and a rooster and chickens, dogs, cats, all sorts of animals. I always grew up around animals. Always knew that it's something that I wanted to do. My mom was the manager of an animal hospital in the city I grew up in. So we would often go there after school on weekends. So I got to get a glimpse into the veterinary clinic atmosphere at a young age, and it was just always something that I liked to do. I didn't enter the clinic right away. I finished high school. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do and entered the workforce. I got a job at a restaurant and I was working as a hostess, and then I was working as a server and then worked my way up to restaurant manager. So I did that for a couple of years, and when you get caught up working, the money's coming in, it's kind of nice, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do long term. So I sat down and kind of thought about what kind of job would I like to do that I would want to do long term that would fulfill my goals and passions. And so I came across a program in Ontario where I lived at the time, and it was at Sheridan College, and it was called Animal Care. So that was a one-year program, and it was a program designed for anybody that wanted to work in the industry with animals and not necessarily in a veterinary clinic. So we did 1-year program. We had a practicum at the end of it. So I had some friends in my course. One ended up working in the zoo as a zookeeper. One of them went into work for the SPCA as a special constable. And most of us went into a vet clinic because that's mostly what it was geared towards. So I ended up doing a 3-week practicum at Campus Estates Animal Hospital, which is a big 24-hour hospital in Ontario, where it was open. Once all the other clinics in the city closed, it would open for the night, and we would take other clinics' emergencies. So it was 24/7. We also specialized in exotics, so birds, reptiles, rodents, rabbits, just seeing a lot of those animals coming through the door there. That was a great job. It was busy clinic right out of school, so at times it was challenging, but I stayed there until a position opened up at a clinic that I was trying to get into that specialized in large animals, so horses, cows. So it was a great opportunity. So I left the Emerge clinic and went to the large animal clinic. That clinic felt like home. That was one of the places I would have stayed there forever. We ended up relocating out here in 2009, but I worked there until 2009. What I loved about that practice was it was as well equally as busy. So it was a 7-doctor practice. So we'd have 3 doctors out doing farm calls, and then we would have 4 doctors in the clinic. And so we would see in the clinic small animals, so cats and dogs, and the large animal vets would be out seeing horses, cows, anything. And then they would call in. So it was a busy clinic where we would be taking appointments in the clinic. We'd be booking appointments, farm calls for them to go out to the farm. It was 3 levels. It had in the basement was a treatment area where all the tests and patients were staying when they were in the hospital and the surgeries were done. And then we had our main level, which was our reception area where all the appointments take place. And then we had a 3rd level, which was grooming. So it was a busy clinic. And I love and thrive in a busy environment, so it was a perfect fit. And then I moved out here. We relocated here in 2010, and I started working at KLO Animal Hospital. And when I was working there, I saw a job posting for Center for Arts and Technology, 3-month placement for an instructor. And at first I was kind of doubting myself and thinking, is that something I could do? So I applied for the job, and I remember coming and we had to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I remember being so nervous about it. And just as soon as I did it, I felt like it was such a great opportunity and something I would love to do. And luckily I got the position, and it ended up turning into a full-time position at that time. So I ended up staying on and until about 2013. And then I took a break, and I've had 3 boys in the meantime. And now I've been back here since 2018. And so a couple of the courses that I currently teach: livestock and exotics, medical terminology, office procedures and client communications, dental procedures, toxicology, anatomy and physiology. I recently just completed my animal welfare advanced certificate at Thompson Rivers University. And that's geared for working in more of a shelter setting. Another reason why I love this industry is just there's always room to grow, opportunities to go in many different directions, upgrade education, and it's just an industry that is so fulfilling. What I love most is that every day is different. When you work in a veterinary clinic, no 2 days are the same. Every day is different clients, different situations, different cases and things that you learn. You can be having, day where it's really sad around the clinic. Maybe something sad happened in the morning, and then 20 minutes later, a litter of puppies comes waltzing through the door and just changes your tune. It's a very different job where you have just different things happening at all times, which makes it really interesting. It's rewarding to be part of a team. It's a very team environment when you work in a clinic. So you have the doctors and the technicians and the assistants and the office manager and the kennel attendants, and just seeing everybody come together and work as a group so well for the well-being of the animal is very, very rewarding. Getting to see a variety of different animals. Some of the animals that I've had the opportunity to work with. So we have our, reptiles, birds, rabbits. We've had lion cubs actually come into our clinic, and they had to be on IV fluids for a couple of days. So we got to have them in there. I got an opportunity to go on a call to an elephant exam. So that was one of the highlights of my career. We had people coming in with primates, little monkeys. So always just new and interesting things to learn. Some of the traits that make a good veterinary assistant are somebody that's kind and compassionate. You're dealing with a lot of touchy situations with owners. With sick animals or with cost constraints. Just situations like that, it's very important to have kindness, empathy. Being able to multitask is very important. It's a job where the phone will be ringing, a client's coming in the door, somebody's standing at the desk waiting to check out, the doctor's waiting for you to come and restrain an animal. So it's just being a multitasker is very important. Your job is, from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave, you're kind of just running around in different places and doing what you need to do. Being a team player, very important, just because you're working with a lot of other people. Being organized, so especially when it comes to clients and their client files, writing in files, and having your desk nice and clean when clients come in just sets the tone for a clinic and makes the clinic look professional. Opportunities and willingness to learn and to grow, that's important as well. The industry changes. There's always new things in the industry, new medications, new diagnostic testing, new equipment, and just being willing to learn all new situations and new things in the clinic. Evolving in your role, so not necessarily just coming in, doing your job and going home, just having the opportunity to take a step back and say, what else could I do to make myself a better veterinary assistant? What else could I learn? Strong communication skills are important as well. You're dealing with clients, you're dealing with your coworkers, relaying information with the doctors, relaying information to you. So very important, just attention to detail. In terms of the role of the veterinary assistant, there is many, many, many different roles. And sometimes it's not just a set in stone, this is what we do. It's you will walk in and you'll start one task and then you realize you need to switch gears and do something else. So for example, if you're coming in the clinic and you're opening the clinic in the morning and you're going to pull all the files, you're going to stock the exam rooms, get them ready for the day, then a client shows up for a surgery. So, okay, we need to stop, we need to check that client in. We're going to weigh the patient. We're going to get the forms that they need to sign. We're going to get somebody to check them in, explain the procedure. Then the phones are ringing. And so kind of just going with the flow, getting all of your tasks done, but they might not necessarily be in order. They will be kind of as you have time. So other tasks, a big one is restraining. So you will be holding the animal for maybe some blood draw, or if they're bandaging, or maybe taking x-rays, you could be assisting the doctor or technician in doing that. Cleaning surgical instruments, preparing the packs, surgical packs to be sterilized, laundry, lots and lots and lots of laundry, taking x-rays, basic diagnostic testing. So veterinary assistants can do fecal flotations, get blood work done, urine samples, sending things away to the lab, filling out the forms and sending them away, ordering inventory, receiving the inventory. Usually shipments come every day, so ordering things that you'll need for the next day, putting them away, making sure you get everything, answering the phones, booking appointments, informing clients of food options that you sell, client education, if they have a new puppy or a new kitten, giving advice for that. So another reason why this career is a great option is that the veterinary industry is booming. It is one of those jobs that will always be around, and it's always expanding. There's always new clinics opening. 57% of people have a pet in their household, and that's 7.5 million households in Canada that have a pet. So even if you live in a small town, there's most likely a veterinary clinic that is close by. And even with COVID, so having this situation where some people were being laid off, it was complete opposite in the veterinary industry. Things have gotten busier than ever with pets. So with COVID and a lot of people being home, people were getting pets. So many people wanting to adopt right now. So the industry has actually gotten busier, if anything. It's nice to know that you can do post-secondary education in 9 months and be out working in the field. So that's not having, a whole bunch of years of schooling. You can actually be in a clinic in less than a year from when you start school to when you enter the workforce. Some perks of the job. So besides being a job that you love to do every day and are passionate about, you get to wear scrubs. That's comfortable. Who doesn't want to wear scrubs? Some clinics will offer little bonuses. One clinic I worked at, they gave us free pet insurance. So that was a nice bonus. Another one, they offered gym memberships. They give scrub allowances. So they'll say, here's, your allowance for the year. You can purchase scrubs and the clinic will pay for it. Discount on your services. So that's a big one if you have lots of pets, just being able to have your pet visits at a discounted cost. So that's a nice benefit. Some of the students that have taken this program have not necessarily gone into the veterinary assistant role. So some people start this program knowing I 100% want to work in a clinic. And some people, as they get through the program, think that maybe there's another way they want to go. We've had one of our students, she ended up opening a dog daycare. And so she worked in a clinic for a little bit and then ended up opening her own business. We had one student that during the program was doing pet sitting, and that just as a part-time thing. And then it just expanded, and she's doing really well with that. And one of our instructors, she actually was one of my students back in 2012, I believe. So she left here 2012, worked in a clinic, and then she actually came back here and has been teaching here. So I've had so many amazing experiences as a veterinary assistant, things that I've seen and got to be part of that I thought it was only something I could dream of. I've had so many amazing experiences, got to work with so many different species of animals, getting to work with clients as well as the patients, getting to work with amazing veterinarians and technicians. It's just been a dream career, and the sky's the limit. And I never stopped learning and just always wanted to better myself. And I just find it's a great industry to be part of. Hope I gave you some insight on the role of a veterinary assistant, and good luck on whatever career path you choose. Thanks for listening.